Welcome to Keep It Clean podcast. I'm Grace. Today we're here with
Mulaya
and Onyx.
Well, we are talking about Unequal.
Specifically Chapter 8, Malcolm X.
It was a good chapter, but it was confusing as well.
Okay.
It was like mixed emotions. Like they throughout the whole few pages of it, mainly chapters, they was telling us how his speech was going, and then throughout the last pages, it was telling how he was, how much of a person he was.
For me, I just really don't know how to feel about it. I've heard of Malcolm X before. I know about police brutality. I didn't fully understand that it's still happening. I knew it was happening, but just didn't surface up to my brain.
Let me ask you guys one question. Whoever wants to answer can answer. What happened to John Derek?
He was shot in a back alley in his uniform and was left dead.
He was a veteran.
He was a veteran, Korean veteran.
Yeah.
And how did reading that information make you feel?
It upset me that not only they're doing cruelty, but they're also doing cruelty on someone who has fought in a war.
He was someone who suffered from police brutality, and thanks to Malcolm X, he was able to get medical treatment and miraculously survive because he had a brain skull fracture. And he was able to sue and actually win $70,000, which was a big thing in the.
So Hinton Johnson was attacked in Harlem, and that is what brought Malcolm X to helping him, because Harlem at this time had been presented as a place where Black and colored people can be truly really free. They could be rich, they could buy houses, and it's not like other places where it's common. This is really uncanny for Harlem to have someone brutally beat up.
How does that make you feel?
Mixed emotions.
Sad that this happened where it wasn't supposed to.
Grace, you said mixed emotions. Kind
Yeah.
of just walk me through the different emotions.
I feel bad for him, and at the same time, I'm sad because he was an innocent bystander. He ain't do nothing.
Well,
he
provoked.
Yeah, he provoked,
but not.
Yeah,
that.
It
He
wasn't
provoked, but they still.
Yeah.
They exaggerated it a lot.
Yeah.
He just asked a question
It makes
that offended them.
It makes me feel annoyed that society has come to the fact that they are, in some cases, so wrong that even a hint of, hey, you're wrong, is met with extreme violence.
Malcolm X was a civil rights activist, and with the help of the Nation of Islam, who he standed with, he told them that he would stay right there until they got Hinton Johnson medical attention, the ability to go to the hospital and potentially save his life.
Do y'all think police brutality got worse, or did it got better?
So I am not online and have access to most news, so I don't know a lot about it. But I think in some places, police brutality has stayed the same. I feel like in others, it's gotten worse. And here in Philly, I feel like it's gotten better.
What do you think the significance of this story is?
It shows two different cases of the same thing. One where one of them gets shot and died and gets no justice whatsoever. and another where one still gets hurt but manages to like make it out alive and able to get compensation for it.
I think the importance of sharing these stories and showing them around is to be like, hey, this is how our society was. Let's try and stay clear of that. We don't want to repeat all this terrible history.
So, quick question. When you guys read this chapter, did you read the epilogue that you're supposed to read before the chapter?
We were supposed to read the epilogue?
Or yeah,
Prologue or like the prologue in the very beginning of the book?
No, it's like a couple pages before.
Here's
yeah, right
the
there.
chapter.
Oh, no.
Prologue.
We didn't know. I didn't know we were supposed to.
No, I
I didn't even know that was there.
I just
It's
think that's from the last
we didn't tell you outright to read it, but Onyx's point just reminded me of this. So,
What's about George Floyd?
over the course of his life, George Floyd was stopped by police 19 times. George Floyd didn't need statistics to know that to be a black person in America means living under an intense amount of extra scrutiny by the police. Pulled over, questioned, detained, followed, harassed. Individual stories could fill a library. A Harvard professor arrested on his own front porch, suspected of burglary. A district attorney whose job is to prosecute criminals, handcuffed and arrested in Washington, D.C. for a crime he did not commit. George Floyd experienced the worst of it when he was arrested at gunpoint in Minneapolis on May 25th, 2020. His crime, allegedly passing a counterfeit $20 bill. The owner of the store where he allegedly passed the fake bill later admitted that most offenders didn't even realize they were using counterfeit money. The police officer pushed Floyd to the ground and kneeled on his neck, pressing down hard. "I can't breathe," George Floyd gasped again and again. 9 minutes and 29 seconds later, George Floyd was dead. So, if our chapter is highlighting police brutality in the 50s and the 60s, and Malcolm X's disdain for police brutality, and Americans now understanding that this isn't something that just happens in the South, this is something that happens everywhere, every day. And the chapter opens with talking about multiple cases of police brutality and police being of high surveillance in the last decade, and another instance of police brutality which ended in someone dying in the last decade. Do you think we're talking about these stories so that we don't repeat the past, or to remind the reader that there is no difference between the present and the past, that this is still an ongoing issue that has yet to be solved? What do you think? Which one?
The second one.
Oh, it's been the whole.
The first
Maybe
one?
like both?
You think it's the first one?
Yeah.
So you think George Floyd being, strangled to death 6 years ago is different than someone being shot to death
Oh wait.
70 years ago? Or someone being batoned within an inch of their life 70 years ago?
Can I say one more thing? I think that it is, it's trying to bring attention, saying, like, we need to avoid this happening again, and, like, they're showing us that it's still happening. But I think that there's also, like, an audience that is now speaking out against it, other than opposed to 70 years ago when nobody, like, really cared that much.
This reading and talking about it is the significance of what the book is trying to get your audience to do, because an audience member like the four of us, like an Onyx saying, I don't really have that much of resources to really know the ins and outs of what the news is saying about police brutality nowadays. So hearing about this is like, wow, I didn't know this was going on. And then hearing that, no, it's an ongoing issue that literally happens every day. It's like, wow, I had no idea. That's what the book is saying. Glaringly so. Most people don't know. And because they don't know, that's why the police basically is allowed to do it so heavily. So how does that make you feel?
Going off of what you're saying, it makes me believe that we should just burn the world entirely. Give it a whole new restart. Everything gone.
It makes me feel mad that I didn't know about this, that it isn't taught enough in schools, because I didn't even learn about Malcolm X when I was in school. Still didn't learn it. And we need to teach it more often.
Well, I go with what she said. Like, I feel like I learned about him, but like I didn't learn as much as about him. Like, I just learned that like he was like he was a supporter for like the Muslims and stuff, and like that's all I really learned about him. I didn't learn that like he was doing like the protesting and like he ain't do none of that, and like his speeches and stuff. I never really learned about him in school, and they didn't teach us about him. We just got a poster up on the wall with one of his quotes.
I also feel like Mulaya's aspect is important because we're not taught about Malcolm X. We're not really taught about police brutality. The only time I was ever taught about it was when we were reading All American Boys, which is a fictional book about it. Really, we're just taught about wars and racism, but nothing about brutality. This is Unequal. We really suggest that you guys go read it, learn more about history that we are not so often taught.
Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Keep It King podcast. We'll see you next time.
See you.
All right.